Hey, you guys, good morning. I wanted to make time to make this video today. I feel like I sometimes disappoint you guys because I don't post often enough. And truth be told, sometimes sometimes I don't have time. And other times I just don't feel like posting, especially on days that I don't feel my best, or I don't know, like I'm struggling, emotionally. And it's been a year that there's been a lot of um, emotional turmoil, especially because of my parents. And it's my cat. He always makes an appearance, you guys, he does. Um, because my parents have not been well. They've both been in the hospital. My dad has been in a respite. He is now back home. Although we didn't want him to come home, they insisted, they both did, that he goes home. And so sometimes we cannot save our parents from themselves. And I wanted to, regardless of how I feel, do a post today. It is my birthday. Today I am 58 years old. And I think too, leading up to my birthday, I've just been doing a lot of reflecting on my life. And it's funny because I have this exterior image of being really like, I'm gonna say like almost like cold or harsh, or just very matter of fact, black and white, no gray areas. And when you've lived a life where you as a child have grown up in a family that had a lot of dysfunction, primarily because of the dynamics of my parents, and I'm not blaming them. My dad is very typical, old school European, and my mom is very typical housewife that sort of just sweeps everything under the rug. No hard issues get talked about. There's no tough conversations, and it's how it appears on the outside. And she's a people pleaser and very much somebody who is extremely submissive, puts her needs last, and he was a very heavy-handed husband to her. And then unfortunately, as children, that sort of plays out in your adulthood because we are conditioned. We become products of our environment. And when you're forced to sort of stand on your own 2 feet and you haven't had the luxury of being able to be soft throughout your life, you kind of develop this hardened shelf, right? You put up walls. It's very hard to take them down. You become extremely hyper independent, which I've done a video on hyper independence. Hyper independence is when you don't ask for help. You have this attitude of, I can do it on my own. I don't need anyone. I'm fine. And you develop this hyper independence because you've been so used to being disappointed, being let down, having people that you thought you could count on and you can't count on. And when that happens consistently over and over again, you sort of develop this attitude of, I'm better on my own, I'm fine on my own, I don't need anyone to help me, I'm good. And unfortunately, humans need connection. They need human interaction. They need to feel like they are loved, cherished, taken care of. And when you don't feel like you have that, you put up walls, barriers, and you become a little bit more hardened. And so as I reflect on this year of being 58, and let me tell you, you guys, the older you get, the more you come to realize or face the fact that we have very limited time here on earth. We never know when our last days are going to be. But as you get older, that becomes even more relevant. And I've been thinking that for me specifically, it's time to just let the walls down. It's time to let someone in. I've been single for 8 years, completely on my own. And although it's been fine, and I think that being independent is a good thing, you certainly learn how to stand on your own 2 feet, pay your own bills, fix your own toilet. So you're completely self-sufficient, and that is great. And I think that every woman, every girl should learn to stand on her own 2 feet, pay her own bills, take care of herself completely without the need, the help from anyone else, and especially a man, and that every girl should be financially independent. I just think that if you're in a position where you've never had that, and you are in a perhaps a tumultuous, toxic, abusive relationship, it's harder to get out of those relationships when you've never been on your own or forced to stand on your own 2 feet, because it almost feels daunting. And once you've done it, you know that you can do it. And if you have to do it again, you will do it again. And I've been sort of doing that most of my life. I've been divorced twice. And standing on my own 2 feet, and taking care of myself. And I kind of now am at the point where I'll be fine. I will be fine. I will be okay to be on my own for the rest of my life, if that's what the universe or God has in store for me. But I'm also at the point that it's okay. It's okay to let someone in. It's okay to let the guard down. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be scared. You know, there's that old saying that 'tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I'm waiting for the day that I can just love and be loved without worrying that it's all gonna blow up. And as I reflect today on my 58th birthday, I think back, well, I think in 20 years, I'm gonna be 78. In 20 years, I'm gonna be 78, close to 80, which I believe 80 is like I think 80 is like the average lifespan. And when I think back to 20 years ago, that feels like it was just yesterday, 20 years ago. When I think, like, where was I 20 years ago? And I think, oh my God, time goes like that. And so I want to have the next 20 years of my life, I really want it to be intentional. And what I mean by that is I want to be intentional about my life. Who I hang out with, who I spend my time with is actually going to be really important to me going forward. Am I doing what I want to do? Am I doing what I love to do? Am I fulfilling my dreams, my soul? And that's why, if you've seen my video, I really, in 2 years' time, at 60, want to go back to my home country of Portugal, at least part-time, or at least just a few months out of the year. I feel this calling, this draw, this pulling to do that. And I really want to do that. I want to do that. I want to spend more time doing what makes me happy and what recharges me. And a lot of times that's just being on my own, alone, in complete solitude. I love my solitude. the greatest compliment that I could get is that I have done a really good job raising my kids. I have a 33-year-old, soon to be 34. I have a 32-year-old, and I have a 28-year-old. And they are what makes my entire life really worth living. And I want to spend more time with them. I want to be able to enjoy them. Like if something comes up, I don't know, a party or a trip or whatever, and it happens to fall on, let's say it's a birthday of one of my kids, or I'm just saying no to a lot more things now, and I don't feel guilty about it. I really don't. I am just doing what I want to do, what's important to me. And I think as we get older, we start learning how to say no and how to feel really comfortable in our skin. No makeup on today, not a stitch. You can probably see my brown spots. You can probably see my dark circles. Brown spots everywhere. Old age spots. I think it's called melasma. I'm starting to feel a lot more comfortable in my skin. I'm starting to go out a lot more without worrying about having perfect, face, the perfect hair. I actually got my hair done for my birthday, so you don't see any gray today. But oftentimes I will come on here with my gray hair, and that's okay, because as we get older, we have gray hair. I want to be more authentically me. I want to not feel the pressure to conform to society. I want to not feel the pressure to buy things that I don't need just because everybody else has them. I want to spend my time feeling at peace, and I think I've done a really, really good job of that. I really have. But I think that my goal going forward is just to be more open again to receiving love and to accepting help and asking for help. Because as a hyper independent, I never ask for help, or I never, say to people, I'm not okay. My personality type has always been, I'm fine, I'm good. Yeah, I don't need anyone. And I think that it's time for me to just let the walls down a little bit and have more meaningful, deep relationships rather than superficial ones. And so I have been saying no a lot lately to attending certain events or going to things that I just don't want to. And it's been okay. I'm still here. It's fine. So yeah, if you're out there and you feel like you have this hardened shelf, and yet you feel like deep down inside you're just a big mush ball, two things can be true at the same time. You can have a soft, almost vulnerable side to you, while also exhibiting this tough girl attitude on the outside, because that's all you've known. And it's a defense mechanism. It's a survival mechanism. And I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to that, because you've had no choice but to stand on your own 2 feet and take care of yourself. And so that has been me my entire life. And I think it's time that I just let the walls down. Yeah. And just be. And I love being with people that make me feel good. I love being with people that are easy. I love being with people that are not judgmental. I love being with people that are grounded, that are spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, just well-rounded. Um, yeah, I'm not really afraid to age. I embrace it. My body's changed. Trying to lose weight now is almost impossible. That flab here, you know, under the arm, you know, that flab right here. I cannot get rid of that. I cannot. You know, I work out wearing a bra. I fucking hate wearing a bra. Like all of a sudden, I just don't want to wear a bra anymore, ever. So excuse my, you know this right here? Cannot get rid of that. But I don't care anymore. I'm not gonna kill myself to try. I try and eat healthy. I try and go for my walks every single day. I try and get in like 15,000 steps if I can. Sometimes I split it up. I'll do some steps in the morning and then I'll do some steps at night. I live on the beach. I'm not so overly concerned anymore about having the perfect body. You know, I'm not so concerned anymore about always looking like perfectly put together. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't want to look like a slob. These need to be lifted up like to here. I don't want to look like a slob, but I also don't feel the need to always look perfect, have the perfect house, have everything be perfect. I'm just going to be real and enjoy my time. And if I want to go for a hike and it's my cleaning day, fuck the cleaning day. Fuck it. Fuck the cleaning day next week too. If something comes up that is going to fill my soul, do you know how much time we lose on doing shit like that? Like cleaning the house or making sure everything's so perfect? No, 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 not anymore. If you're coming to my home and it's untidy or maybe it's unkept and you're gonna judge me for it, we can't be friends. No, because I'm certainly not gonna judge you for it, because if you're living your life and you're doing what you love and you're loving what you do, who gives a shit that you may have some, I don't know, dishes in the sink that you haven't taken care of yet? Okay, that's it. I want to apologize, you guys. I know I started my YouTube channel to lift you up, inspire, and motivate you. And sometimes it's hard for me to get to it because I'm either not feeling it or I just really do not have the time. But if you do follow me on Instagram, I post there almost consistently daily. So go to my Instagram, Mama Moynes or Emily Moynes, and there you can see a lot more of my inspirational quotes and motivational stuff. Anyway, it's my birthday, and going forward, I am going to live more authentically and make sure that the last 20 really count. Bye, guys.